Please welcome Jane Naw, class of 2008, as she sings the national anthem. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs burst in the air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please welcome the 9th Chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley, Robert J. Bergeneau.
Go Bears! Cal graduates, family, friends, and guests, welcome to the University of California, Berkeley, and to this magnificent Greek theater for our 2008 Commencement Convocation. My name is Robert Bergeneau, and it's my privilege to serve Berkeley both as a professor of physics and as its 9th chancellor. Before I begin my remarks, I would like to ask for a moment of silence for one of our students who would have been part of today's graduation class. Christopher Wooten, a senior in engineering, died just over a week ago, killed in a senseless and tragic stabbing. And I have to say, spending a half an hour with his father and family is probably the most difficult half hour I've had since I became chancellor of this great university. Let us bow our heads in a moment of silence to remember him. Thank you. Thank you. Before we move on, I've been asked to announce that the university has a film crew in the Greek theater today taking pictures for campus film. We'll be capturing an aerial view of today's commencement, so please do not be concerned when a helicopter flies over twice at 4:45 p.m. This is not Apocalypse Now, and there will be no napalm. We hope to time the flyover to occur during a musical portion of the ceremony so that it will be the least disruptive of today's program. Let me begin my formal remarks by congratulating the class of 2008. Honoring our graduates by joining in today's convocation is the class that preceded it 50 years ago, the graduates of 58. Class of 58, please stand up and be acknowledged. And I have a second sort of surprise acknowledgement for the class of 2008. I'll show you this pennant. Several days ago, Colonel Rex Walheim, class of 84, came by my office to present this pennant to us. This pennant went up on the shuttle Atlantis to the space station during the February flight. And Rex, who's one of our graduates, so this graduates gives you an ambition, something to aim for, was the person you saw on television out on this big Canadian arm doing the repairs out in space. And he had the Cal pennant with him. So this is it. So this pennant, Cal, I mean, we know we're the best, right? But this demonstrated absolutely. Flew 5,296,842 miles. Graduation is a treasured moment for students and their families, and I'm delighted that we have gathered in such numbers to honor our past, the excitement of the present, and the promise of the future. Today, each of you, as members of the graduation class, will experience the same joy, the same sense of personal accomplishment as the many hundreds of thousands of graduates who have preceded you throughout our long history. Each family here has traveled a distinctive path to arrive at today's graduation. This event has special significance for all of you. Let's thank the families and all the other partners, children and friends who have stood by these graduates with their understanding and support. Class of 2008, please join us in showing your appreciation. We would also like to thank the faculty and staff members who have participated in the Cal experience for these graduates, and to thank all of those participating here today with us to make this such a joyful convocation celebration. Graduates, this is your special time, a major milestone in each of your lives. Convocation recognizes and celebrates your accomplishments. Today, you are congratulated on your progress toward a significant reward for all your toil and perseverance, a university degree. And not just any university degree, a University of California, Berkeley degree. A Berkeley education is both an honor and a privilege. Honor often brings rewards. You've received the best possible education that only a distinguished and preeminent research and teaching university can offer. You've been taught by leading researchers who bring to the classroom a depth of understanding and a real passion for their subject that you could not experience otherwise. You have participated in knowledge being transformed by their investigation and discovery, and many of you have contributed directly to that process. Many of you were freshmen when I became Chancellor of UC Berkeley 4 years ago. And so you're my first class that have known, except for 1 month, only me as chancellor. Now, there are much better chancellors, but this is what you got. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can honestly say that I found you to be the most engaged and engaging students that I have ever encountered. And I previously taught at Yale, Oxford, and MIT, so the comparison group is okay. During your time at Berkeley, you have made a significant contribution to a number of important developments. And I don't only mean that. Each of your 4 years here, the Bulls went to a bowl game. Unfortunately, not the Rose Bowl, that'll be next year's graduates. When I arrived on campus 4 years ago, the campus was dispirited by the effects of Proposition 209. And it was you, our students, who insisted that we create the position of Vice Chancellor for Equity and Inclusion. That position was filled this year by Professor Gabor Basri, who's here, Gabor, who is now engaged in establishing a strategic plan for equity and inclusion on this campus. You've also educated me on greenness and pushed hard for our commitment to sustainability. Your persistence and efforts have brought about our commitment to reduce our carbon footprint 6 years sooner than the goal set for California by Governor Schwarzenegger. Your ingenuity has shown us what marvelous things one can do quite inexpensively to make our campus greener. Your passion for responsible stewardship of our planet is reflected in the green energy projects in which the campus is engaged. I hope that as you leave Berkeley, you will carry with you your passion for working for a better society that gives fair opportunity to all, and your zeal for ensuring the long-term health of our planet. And I'll give you one concrete example. In my office a short time ago was a young man who ought to be sitting there with you. This young man comes from a poor Chicano background, struggled mightily, went to a community college. It's a real person. Turned up at Cal, applied for we promised him a full financial aid package, applied for financial aid, and that's how he discovered that he was undocumented, which meant, of course, he didn't qualify for any state or federal financial aid. This meant that he had to take on a full-time job, plus the challenge of coming here to Cal, competing with some of the brightest students in the country. Sadly, this led to him having to drop out for the simple reason that he came here at age 5, and his parents didn't have the privilege of immigrating legally like many other immigrants like myself. He was in my office because 2 idealistic young women in San Francisco heard about his plight and that of several others like him here at Berkeley. And they took a collection from their families and are now supporting these students. And so this demonstrates that simple idealism and the willingness to give can have a big impact on individual people's lives. But there are not that many saints around, and so I urge all of you to urge politicians both in Sacramento and in Washington to remove this disgrace from the American landscape. The Cal community, the people of California, and many other Berkeley supporters and friends have made it possible for us to enroll students of talent here at Berkeley from every economic background, regardless of financial situation. I point out with great pride that currently here at Berkeley, we have more undergraduates whose family incomes are under $40,000, that is, qualify for Pell Grants, than all of the Ivy League universities put together. This is a remarkable achievement, and it represents the public, capitalized nature of Berkeley more succinctly than any other statistic I might cite. Looking ahead, whether we are speaking as a campus, as a state, nation, or as a society, it is self-evident that we will need all of you to continue your good works, scholarship, leadership, and insight. You are a core of talent and leadership in your generation, as all Cal generations have been before you. Some of you may be worried that you do not yet know what you want to be doing now that you are no longer a student. Berkeley prides itself on students who are independent and self-directed. Berkeley students are innovators and risk takers. You have honed these skills in your time with us, and I know that you will find a way forward. Berkeley students are leaders. You will see these qualities exemplified in our commencement speaker, Craig Newmark. Craig has also just recently funded a chair in new media at UC Berkeley. So Cal students, this commencement marks a turning point for you. Most of you are now leaving our university, the focal point of your lives for so long. Some may feel too long, but you may not know where the future will take you, but as you go, know that we will all be there with you. We are very proud of you. We are proud that you are joining a community of Cal alums, more than 425,000 strong, all of whom have a common bond, their pride in Berkeley. Now, you too will always be members of the Berkeley community. Please stay in touch with your university and continue to share from near and far in what our university has to offer. I hope that you will remember the excellent education that you received here and that it will serve you and society well in the years to come. May your lives be richly rewarding and fulfilling, and may you enjoy good health and much happiness. Above all, this is your day. You have earned it. Congratulations and good luck, class of 2008. Go Bears!
Please welcome the current president of your California Alumni Association and member of the class of 1993, Derek DeFries.
I just absconded this from the Chancellor, so thank you, Chancellor. I'll hold on to that. Wow, don't you guys look good? Hold on. Cheese. Excellent, excellent. All right, my name is Derek DeFries, class of 1993. I stand before you as the president of the California Alumni Association, representing the 425,000 living alumni of the University of California, Berkeley. Our alumni are spread throughout the world, in California and New York, in Toronto and Mexico City, in London and Shanghai. We are everywhere. But quite frankly, the best place to be is right here in front of the 1,000 newest alumni, in front of all of you. Before I launch into something that only half of you will probably pay attention to, well, I'm hoping for half, I have to thank our keynote speaker. I mean, really, thank you. Really, seriously, thanks, Craig. Because of you, I've bought something, I've sold something, I've had a misconnection, I've had a casual encounter, and I might have had a couple of other things that I can't mention here today. So, all right, back to business. You know, the Alumni Association has always been about supporting our alma mater, and it's critical to recognize, however, that we are only here because of the love and the support of family and friends around us, and including the alumni that tread these waters before you. Cal is sometimes not an easy place. And as hard, yeah, I know, and as hard as it is to get into, it can be even harder to get out. Well, you're out. And hey, well, okay. And hey, some of you are more out than others. So congrats. So I'm not here to give you some advice because quite frankly, all I would really have to offer is this. If you're Eric, don't give away your immunity necklace. If you're Jason, don't try to cover Bob Marley. And I really like Elsie from the Hills, and y'all should really try it out. I think it's a good show, and please give it a shot. So with that, congratulations, and I realize that the road that you thought you just finished just took a turn. There's another crook in the road, there's another curve, and an uphill battle before you. But we at the Alumni Association want you to know that we are here with you. We expect a lot of you as well. Our university, as beautiful as she is, needs your help. She needs your intellect and your strength. But before that charge gets you down and puts a damper on this rather blistering hot day, just look at the raw material you have to work with. For with a jewel like this, how could we, working together, possibly fail? So, as we welcome you into the folds of the alumni, I will leave you with the words that you may hear very soon in the metro in Washington, D.C., on a trail near Yosemite Falls. This is all places I've been and heard this. At Faneuil Hall in Boston, Canary Wharf in London, the hills of Sicily, or even on an ad posting on Craigslist. For we are everywhere, and we go with you. Go Bears!
Now joining the Chancellor at the podium are Philip Nowak and Mary Rose Parrish, Class of 2008 Gift Committee, with a special presentation to the university.
Good afternoon, faculty, family, friends, and my fellow members of the class of 2008. My name is Philip Novak, and this year, my colleague Mary Parrish and I have had the honor of serving on the class of 2008 Senior Gift Committee. The Senior Gift is a tradition that started in 1874 and still continues because Cal needs support from alumni to maintain its status as the greatest university in the world. Many of the advantages that we have here are the result of generous alumni saying yes when they have been asked for support. As a graduating class, we are now stepping into those shoes. This year, many of our members said yes by establishing the Class of 2008 Endowed Scholarship Fund. Others said yes by designating donations to specific colleges or departments. In fact, 1,700 seniors said yes when asked to support our alma mater. Because of that collective inspiration, today we have the opportunity to present one of the largest senior gifts in the 140-year history of the University of California.
All donations to the Senior Class Gift Campaign will be doubled this year thanks to a challenge match from a group of generous alumni. In addition, thanks to the Chancellor's Challenge for Student Support, all gifts to the Class of 2008 Endowed Scholarship Fund will receive an additional match. We will be leaving a strong legacy here at Cal, a legacy of financial support for the future, a legacy of giving back, a legacy that says, once a bear, always a bear. Our committee's goal for this campaign was to raise $60,000 for our gift. But by saying yes, we, the class of 2008, surpassed our goal by far, reaching $71,248.11. Once the challenge matches are added, we will have been responsible for raising nearly $200,000 for future Cal students. And we would now like to present Chancellor Bergeneau with the 2008 Senior Class Gift. Congratulations, class of 2008, and go Bears!
Thank you.
Please welcome Catherine Nguyen, Vice President of Commencement, Senior Class of 2008.
Thank you very much, Senior Gift Committee and the Class of 2008, for your generous donation. It is with utmost honor and privilege that I introduce you to this year's keynote speaker. Craig Newmark is the founder and current customer service representative of craigslist.com. Craigslist.com is an innovative online community that originated in the Bay Area and services thousands of people all over the nation. Mr. Newmark is a web-oriented software engineer by training with more than 30 years of IT experience at companies such as IBM and Bank of America. In 1995, Mr. Newmark was working at Charles Schwab. He started Craigslist as an email list for friends and coworkers about events going on in the San Francisco Bay Area. In 1999, Mr. Newmark retired from the IT consulting work to work full-time on Craigslist. What started as a fun project on Craig's in Mr. Newmark's living room has since grown into one of the busiest sites on the internet, helping people with basic day-to-day needs, such as finding a job, an apartment, or a date. According to the New York Times article published yesterday, Craigslist.com is the 7th most popular website in the United States. Mr. Newmark is involved with a variety of community efforts and is particularly interested in organizations promoting public diplomacy, Middle East peace, and new forms of media, such as participatory journalism. He is on the board of Sunlight Foundation, One Voice, Fact Check ED, and Voto Latino. As described in the New York Times article, Mr. Newmark is a believer in the power of technology to improve life. Whether in blogging, a visit he recently made to Israel where he argued in favor of microloans and technological innovation to build up the Palestinian economy, or in the use of online tools to make government more transparent. He is a vocal advocate of keeping the internet free. He has donated to many nonprofit organizations such as newassignment.net, which plans to combine the work of amateurs and professionals to produce investigative stories on the internet. Speaking of keeping connected, Mr. Newmark will be blogging throughout the ceremony today on cnewark.com and also twitter.com/CraigNewmark. After much anticipation and excitement, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Craig Newmark.
Folks, thanks. I really appreciate it. This is a genuine honor. I would like to thank the students, faculty, and administration of this school. This does mean a lot. Although I do feel in my gut this may be the result of some clerical error. By the way, I'm told that many of the people here have indeed used our site for everyday activities. And along those lines, I've been reassured that you'll humor me when I try to say something that I think is funny. I do enjoy the sound of my own voice, but I'm going to try to limit it to 15 minutes. I'm running a timer, and at the end of 15 minutes, you may hear it start to make a cricket-like noise. And I'm hoping that you will be patient with me while you endure my talk. It will be not very much, but a little bit about Craigslist, just in terms of the observations that I've made doing Craigslist now for over 13 years. And since this is a college commencement talk, I believe I'm required to give some advice, so I guess I'll adhere to that ritual, although I get to choose what I say. And at the end, I will be asking a big favor of you. From reading anything about the site or about me, you will observe that I'm very public, that I just come out and let people know that I am a nerd. People do think of me normally as eye candy, particularly in this outfit, which being black has a slimming effect. But in high school, I really did wear a plastic pocket protector. I really did have thick black glasses taped together, completely literally, and while I avoided being in the AV club, I actually did be part of the debating team, which gave me the dangerous illusions that logic and reason mattered. Now that you're graduating, you can be told that. But specifically, I am a computer nerd, not that kind of nerd which goes into public policy and sociology and so on. Those are what people call policy wonks. And I've reflected that nerds and wonks do have a strange symbiotic relationship I'll go into in a moment. Now that I've entered middle age, I do now find things exciting like refrigerator reviews, washer-dryer reviews. I'm just mentioning that because in 2 days, I'll be going to Consumers Union for a board meeting. Those are the people who do consumer reports, and I'm also on the board there, but this is just a vision of what you'll be like in 30 years. Tangentially, I'll mention for those of you who have kids or who are yourselves school smart, when you have an opportunity in class to show off how smart you are, don't do it. Tell your kids, don't do it, because then you'll learn in high school what it feels like to be left out, what it feels like to be excluded. And there are those of us who even were using the internet 30 years ago in its earliest forms. The internet is about inclusion. The internet is about including everyone and trying to be fair to everyone. And that's a little bit of what Craigslist is about. The deal is that Craigslist, there is nothing really noble or altruistic or pious about what we're about. We're just doing what feels right. Somehow, we've built this culture of trust, not by trying to be, not to trying to ascribe to high ideals, but just sticking with basic shared values, like the idea that you want to treat people like you want to be treated. Stuff like the idea that you want to live and let live, stuff like the idea that you want to give the other person a break now and then. By the way, I'm implicitly introducing one of the themes of this talk, which is that the boring stuff, the stuff that we take for granted, is actually the important stuff. There's also other stuff that we learn in Craigslist, like how important it is to get out of the way. For example, in the year 2000, I made this guy, Jim Buckmaster, CEO of Craigslist, because, see, he's a really good manager. As a manager, frankly, I suck. And you'll find that in your career that it will be very difficult for managers to come out of denial in that manner. Well, the deal is if you want to treat people like you want to be treated, that means good customer service, and that's why my job, how I make a living at Craigslist, is providing customer service. I haven't done it now for maybe 45 minutes, but when I get home, I'll be doing more of it. I'll probably have a backlog, although Clint and company, who are the rest of the customer service team, will be watching my back. And again, something we've learned doing Craigslist, and it's been over 13 years, you want to try to include everyone. That's one of the fundamental ideals of the internet. That's one of the reasons it's so important to try to include everyone. Because, we've also learned the hard way doing Craigslist is that people are overwhelmingly trustworthy and good. There are exceptions to that, but overwhelmingly, people are about fair play and a level playing field. And again, that statement was really boring. It was completely banal and yet deeply true, and that's what matters of things. We have challenges like that at Craigslist. For example, now and then something bad happens, but people quickly learn that we're really good at dealing with that, and we're good at working with victims and cops. On the other hand, we're really good at that due process stuff you may have heard about. You know, most of you in the graduating class are too young to remember when we in this country had rule of law and a constitution. But at Craigslist, we believe that we act as if the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was still in effect because we're pretty confident that on January 20th, we're going to see that again. And again, notice this theme of mine, the boring stuff is the important stuff. At this point, I should probably include even a reference to the Founding Fathers and all that jazz, but I'm starting to get bored with myself. Now comes the ritualistic advice portion of the site. I do recommend seriously to everyone that they read the work of America's most eminent organizational behaviorist, because many of you will be working in corporations and in cubicles, maybe in the near future. So you want to read everything associated with the name Dilbert. And I wish I was joking. Random things. Brevity is the soul of wit. And I can see already that I'm going to go over time, but I'll try not. People talk in my business about an elevator speech. Being able to articulate what your company or your nonprofit is about in 45 seconds, that's for real. People who have some juice, who have the money to fund your organization, they're busy and they're impatient, and you got to get that message out really fast. You do want to avoid, when you're speaking, telling people what they already know, and that's what I'm trying to do now. You already may know the Dilbert stuff, but maybe I'm saying something of use. Again, the Craigslist message, trust your customers. You know, you'll hear a lot in customer service literature about disgruntled customers, but most of the time, they're right. There are people that you could never make happy, and I've got a bunch of them, and they're very busy. But typically, you can trust the people in your customer community or your community at large. A special message to the human males in the audience, by virtue of the girlfriend. Guys, normally speaking, we're not as funny as we think we are. Along those lines, and again, since I've been getting involved in the journalistic community and so on, Oscar Wilde said that if you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you. Along those lines, you want to pay attention to some of the most eminent newsmen of our time, folks like Jon Stewart. He taught me what I should have figured out already, that, well, it's the extremists and other crazy people who get your attention because moderates have stuff to do. He's also said the most important commentary about the current presidential election, which is when he expressed his shock at the speech that Barack Obama made about race. Because he said he was surprised that for 42 minutes, a presidential candidate spoke to us as if we were adults. Finally, a big lesson that we've learned at Craigslist is that you focus on the doable, things that can be done. Growing up, I've seen a lot of people who mean well, who try to change things, but they don't know how to get stuff done. Sometimes people dismiss them as do-gooders, and there's a point there. As you try to change the world, focus on those things that mean something that can be done, because otherwise, you may spin your wheels and waste your energy and not get something done and get cynical and disillusioned. Me, I'm trying to get cynical and disillusioned. I need a rest, but doing Craigslist, that's kind of prevented me from doing that. Oh, one last bit of advice. Since on Thursday also, on Thursday, that will be the 30th anniversary of my ballet accident, which put me in the hospital twice. And I'll spare you the details, but it just illustrates dumb things a guy will do when he's 25. And maybe I'll blog that, but later. I'm coming to that big favor I'm going to ask. And unfortunately, even at this late age, I've started reading about history, reading about the way nerds provided policy people, wonks and so on, with the tools they needed to change the world. For example, around 500 years ago, there was a notable nerd who invented the printing press, Johannes Gutenberg. To me, that was the invention of the internet, of mass communications as we know it now. That technology didn't go anywhere until a policy guy named Martin Luther. He was a blogger, and he changed the world by inventing what people in my business call a killer app. It didn't stop there. It led to other guys later on who introduced new technology, which led to other people, other bloggers changing the world. In the 1600s in Britain, William of Orange wanted the throne of England, so what he did is he made use of a new technology called caffeine and a network of coffee houses. I guess caffeine should get a hoot. But what he did is he used a whole bunch of bloggers like John Locke to introduce a new killer app, which is what we call representative democracy. Later on, bloggers like Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Paine, Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, they used blogging and a network of coffee houses to get the word out about their new invention, which is our form of representative democracy. Of course, they learned a lot, including from the Roman Republic, this idea of checks and balances, which is a really big deal. That's how people in the different branches of government keep the people in the executive branch honest, or at least that's the theory. To give special credit to what happens here on this campus, over the last 40 years, a lot of the democratizing technology of the internet was developed on this very piece of ground. A lot of people also did a great deal of work on free speech, those 40 years ago, and those things are tied together. This is maybe a commonplace observation here, but little things like that really do allow people to change the world. Now, what's happening at Berkeley? A couple weeks ago, I was here at a symposium on investigative reporting put on by the new Center for Investigative Reporting. Those are the people who dig in and find out what's going on and then tell us, and we need more and more of that. There's also this Berkeley Center for New Media, which investigates the intersection between the technology and how people are using the media to change the world. So here's the hard part of my talk, and I'm about to hear the crickets, so I'll try to keep it short. I need to get out more. My girlfriend tells me I spend too much time. She tells me I spend too much time in the house, so I need to get out. And I decided, well, maybe I should get out and help change the world. It's time someone saved it. But remember, I really don't have the energy or the enthusiasm anymore. I really don't do excitement. And the good news, well, the bad news is that I'm going to ask you to do it. The good news is that you're already doing it. For example, coming here, I already did my homework and found out to my pleasant surprise that the university administration with the students and faculty are already working on finding a solution for the people who work here, who provide basic services, the people who've unionized, and who are just trying to make a living wage. The message is positive. People are getting their act together and making something happen. That ain't bad. Another thing, and this is, I think, strictly the students here, you're starting to use social networking to connect, stuff like Facebook or MySpace. But if you look at what's happening on Facebook and MySpace, people are using those tools not only to socialize, but to get together for good causes, like in the elections coming up. I have a feeling that the big stuff is yet to come on those sites. I don't know what it's going to be, but if you're connecting to people, it's going to be easy when the time comes. I'd also like to say something that I never thought I would say as someone who has a fair amount of libertarian influence, but that community service, public service is a big deal. The idea is that I've spoken with a lot of people in Washington, particularly the career people, who've been leaving public service in considerable numbers. We're going to need a lot of smart people in Washington rebuilding a lot of things. For those of you who might be going into law or graduating from law school, frankly, they're going to need a lot of good, honest lawyers at the Department of Justice. They're going to need a lot of people to rebuild, and I do want to remind people of the nobility of public service. And finally, this is a big year in human history. We got a big pivotal election coming up. If you want to do something big and boring, it's the time to get out there and vote. Do something you believe in, because there are lots of big issues right now, a lot of stuff going out. And the good news there is that I've been looking, again, I have no real interest in politics. But even a guy like me, I'm looking at some of the election returns already in the primaries, and there are enormous numbers of new voters, particularly among the kids. And I should throw in there a gratuitous reference to, I do want you to get out and vote, but stay off my lawn. But anyway, it's important for you guys to get out and vote, because things are going to change this year. We have a lot of rebuilding to do. A lot of important stuff is going on. The only downside of this is that I only hear that half of you are going out and doing that, and I do need the other half of you to go out and do that. You see, the deal is that the people of my parents' generation, we're the people who dug us out of the Great Depression, who fought a really ugly war overseas. And there's the cliche now about calling them the greatest generation. Well, the task before you guys is to fix the way we do government. That involves massive cultural change, big stuff in Washington. This year it's going to start to happen for real, and that's the big favor that I'm going to ask of you. I'm going to now follow through with one of my principles, that brevity is the soul of wit, and thank everyone for humoring me. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Please welcome Melting Point. All are members of the class of 2008. They are Jesse Brownstein, Benjamin Kramitz, Thomas McGance, and Andrew Prout. Melting Point will perform Get on the Bus.
All right, everybody, we came here with one goal and one goal only, and that was to rock the class of 2008. So let's do that. Rock! Shiny polished shoes, I ain't got it, baby. Hell, I ain't even got the blues. Oh Lord, no, but I got tickets to this brand new show, and I thought maybe you'd like to go. And I'm not trying to make a fuss, but want to come, get on the bus. Get on the bus. Let me tell you something, because I know you'll be satisfied. Let me show you, little honey, the ins and outs of this here funky ride. No, cause I'll be in the driver's seat. You shift my gears and can't go just yet. No, the steam out of clear out. Don't wanna hear no ifs, ands, or buts, but if you wanna come, get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Come on, everybody, give it up. So what are you saying now? As I tuck and tip your skirt, no more tongue and cheek. I'm a cheeky freak, yeah. Well, with my tie in your tail. Oh, come now, cause I'm riding shotgun, yours in bitch. And Bobby, how you sip, you scratch at it now. Make up your mind and do what you must. But if you wanna come, get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Keep on rocking in the real world 2008.
Chancellor Bergeneau will now recognize the recipient of the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award.
Weren't they great? How about another cheer? It is our tradition to present, is this on? It is our tradition to present at Convocation the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award to honor an alumnus or alumna who has a distinguished record of service to his or her country. This is too important to be drowned out. Bears, 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 bears. Okay, let's try again. It is our tradition to present at Convocation the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award to honor an alumnus or alumna who has a distinguished record of service to his or her country. This year's awardee is alumnus Dr. Marcos Espinal, who has played a leading role in the global battle against tuberculosis. Dr. Marcos studied medicine in his home country of the Dominican Republic and then went on to earn a Master's of Public Health and a PhD from Berkeley in 1995. Dr. Espinal is being honored for his outstanding research and global initiatives to stop the spread of tuberculosis. This award, one of the most prestigious honors conferred by the Berkeley campus, recognizes his inspiring record of service to humanity in the struggle for improving countless lives through social and political action to stop TB's unnecessary spread. Dr. Espinal.
Thank you. Go Bears. Congratulations, class of 2008. I'm deeply honored to receive the Elise and Walter Haas International Award for a UC Berkeley alumnus who has a distinguished record of service. I received this prize today on behalf of the thousands of students, all in search of wisdom and meaning, who attend this magnificent and historic campus. This high honor represents an incentive for me to continue pursuing the true meaning of public health. My entire professional career has been devoted to the fight against tuberculosis. Some of you may think tuberculosis is no longer a big problem in the world. And indeed, it shouldn't be, because it can be cured with a treatment that costs $25. The irony is that tuberculosis still kills almost 2 million people worldwide every year. TB has afflicted mankind for more than 4,000 years, and it has been curable for more than half a century. Had the world found the true meaning of public health, tuberculosis would no longer exist. In my view, it is simply a disgrace that society has not been able to get rid of such a major scourge. Being recognized for a distinguished record of service by one's alma mater is probably the greatest honor any person can receive in the course of his professional life. Esteemed graduates, not so many years ago, I was sitting where you are today, wondering what was in store for me. I'm sure similar thoughts are passing through your minds. To you, I wish to say that there is nothing the human mind cannot conquer. Your powers are immense. I'm confident that in a few years from now, as you think back to this day, you will say to yourself, my quest was a bit uncertain, but not impossible. Be humble and never underestimate the power of the person sitting next to you. But do not dare to undervalue your own potential. Go out and grab the world, pursue your dreams, and don't let anybody even hint at your ideas and goals cannot be realized. You will never be able to achieve what you not try. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the University of California and the Haas family for honoring me today. My profound thanks go as well to the School of Public Health for empowering me to become a better professional and, more importantly, more human. I'm grateful to Professor Arthur Reingold for being not only an outstanding teacher, but the greatest mentor one could dream of having. I'm also thanking to the World Health Organization for also being part of my development. I'm forever indebted to my family, especially my father, brothers and sisters, Fred, Abel, Ileana, Magda, and Miguelina, my father Ramon, who are all here with me today and have supported me always. I wish to acknowledge the two women who have been my greatest pillars, Auntie Sarah, for being a second mother to me, and to my beloved mom, Elsa, who is not with us today, but who was everything to me. My mother was an example of dedication, inspiration, and care. She is deeply missed. Thank you all for the opportunity.
Please welcome back to the podium Chancellor Bergeneau to acknowledge the 2008 Student Award recipients. Student awardees, please rise as the Chancellor announces your name.
It gives me great pleasure to acknowledge awards to some of our very many outstanding graduates. First, the Kenneth Priestley Leadership Award, established in 1948 by the Associated Students of the University of California, the California Alumni Association, and friends in memory of Kenneth Priestley. This award is given annually to a graduating senior who has shown outstanding student leadership and contribution to student welfare. The award goes to Rachel Hana Luna, Mass Communication Education. The Mather Good Citizen Award. This distinguished award, established in 1983, is given annually to a graduating senior with an outstanding record of civic commitment, well-rounded scholarship, and commitment to the university. The award goes to Alice Marie Chamberlain, Development Studies. The Anna Espenshata Prize. The Espenshata Prize was established in 1987 to recognize a graduating senior female student athlete for excellence in attitude involving her athletic endeavors. The annual recipient exemplifies the Golden Bear spirit. The award goes to Rebecca Kaeyun Yao, Public Health, one of Cal's top runners in the 3,000, 5,000, and 10,000 meters. The Jake Gimbel Prize. The Gimbel Prize was established in the 1930s to recognize a graduating senior male student athlete for excellence in attitude involving his athletic endeavors. The annual recipient exemplifies the Golden Bear spirit. And as an anecdotal aside, I could have predicted this year's winner because the prize winner and myself were walking down the street together in Fort Worth, Texas, when there was a group of young men across the street, and one of them, who goes by the name of Deshaun Jackson, screams out, "Justin, I want to be just like you when I grow up." So the award correctly goes to Justin Forsett, Interdisciplinary Studies. And who we look forward to seeing starring for the Seattle Seahawks next season. So maybe you can all stand up, and award winners, and let's have a round of applause for all of them.
Bergeneau will now acknowledge the university medalist and semifinalist. Student awardees, please rise as the Chancellor announces your name.
First, it gives me great pleasure to present the University Medal, which is the top student prize of the Berkeley campus, to an incredibly accomplished young woman, Leslie C. Hsu, molecular and cell biology. This gold medal is awarded to the most distinguished graduating senior on the UC Berkeley campus. This medal was first awarded at commencement ceremonies in 1871 and has been awarded every year since. Leslie has a 3.99 GPA. I don't know what happened to the .01, and was a Regents and Chancellor's Scholar. She studied public health abroad in China, which opened her eyes to the effects of infectious diseases in the Third World, influencing her to join a research group concentrating on immune response to drug-resistant strains of tuberculosis, which is, of course, exactly what the previous award was for, in fact, so this is quite consonant. She also conducted outreach to Asians and Pacific Islanders with hepatitis B. In the fall, she will attend UCSF's School of Medicine. Leslie, why don't you come in? You're welcome.
Thank you.
I would also like to acknowledge this year's University Medal finalists. They are Matthew Johnson. You can stand up, Matthew. There you are, Matthew. Julia A. Malkina. Samuel Eli Curtis Pittman. Benitha Shivashun Karen. And Angelica Linzen, pardon me. Linzen. Now I'm going to call Leslie back to share a few words with us. Leslie.
Thank you, Chancellor. I remember the first time I set foot in this theater. I was still a little disoriented on this big campus. Along with many of you, I stood where our family and friends are sitting now, chanting "Go Bears" at the annual bonfire just before the big game. That whole week, I was overwhelmed with Berkeley spirit, from hearing the Cal Band rally through Unit 3 to watching the play during my usually serious Chem 1A lecture. Our fourth-ranked football team ignited a contagious Cal spirit that swept through my body. And when I stood here 4 years ago, I knew there was something special about Berkeley. Today, for the first time, we sit at the Greek Theater not as audience members, but as graduates. Today, we are unified, not for a concert or a rally, or a football game, but as the UC Berkeley Class of 2008. Soon, we will be leaving Cal with our bachelor's degrees, and with that, a responsibility to improve the lives of those around us and to continue striving for the great things we have begun. Some of us will work closely with victims of natural disasters, like the earthquake that struck China or the cyclone that hit Myanmar, while others will find cures to modern health conditions like obesity that plague developed countries. Others of us will be at the forefront of investigating climate change and alternative energy sources, or working within our communities to find peaceful solutions to global and local violence. As we move forward, we must take it upon ourselves to use what we have been given to address these challenges. Berkeley has provided us with the intellectual platform to excel in our professions, while simultaneously imbuing us with the spirit to care for our peers and our communities. I came to Berkeley from the Irvine bubble, a place of privilege, resources, and opportunities. I took the ability to pursue higher education for granted. I was naive, knowing very little about the world or about myself. I was, and am still, humbled by many of you who overcame the odds to come to Cal, who worked through college to pay for your tuition, or who work tirelessly to promote access to education in our local neighborhoods. Being amongst you has diversified my own learning and broadened my knowledge. In the past few days, I've received mass emails and Facebook messages from many of you, urging me to petition against the budget cuts being made to East Asian language programs at Cal. I'm proud to stand here with you because the genuine passion I sense from you daily, my fellow classmates, motivates me to support causes I may not have known about and inspires me to make contributions to our school and our community as you have. As I began working toward issues I grew passionate about, like disparities in access to healthcare or the orphan situation in China, I realized the value and power of our interconnectedness. In order to make progress, we must rely upon each other. Without the tremendous help and encouragement of many people, I wouldn't have imagined expanding services at free hepatitis B clinics in San Francisco or mentoring teen Chinese adoptees in the Bay Area. I think people come into our lives for a reason, to teach us, to help us, to inspire us. We would not be here, or we would not be where we are now without our families, who showed us the importance of values and wisdom, our friends, who supported us unconditionally, and our professors and advisors, who encourage us to push the boundaries of knowledge. Some people will be a part of our lives forever, and others we will never see again, yet all of them helped shape who we are. We have been incredibly fortunate to be a part of Berkeley's vibrant community, which introduced us not just to lifelong friends, but also to lifelong passions. As I recently heard from a doctor at UCSF, there are 6.8 billion people in this world, and many of them would love to be sitting where you sit right now. Finishing an undergraduate career at Berkeley is a great achievement, but as Chancellor Bergeneau said, it's also a privilege and an honor. As a Cal alum, you will hold a respected place in society, no matter where you go. Regardless of where life takes you, I ask you to think of those 6.8 billion people and never lose sight of the great opportunities you've been handed. Today marks an exciting time, a time to reflect on the past, a time to embrace our futures, and most importantly, a time to seize the moment. I've come a long way from being that disoriented girl who stood here 4 years ago, and I've realized that it's not just our football team that makes Cal a special place. It's the intellectual curiosity and enthusiastic perseverance of our faculty, our community, our fellow students, and we graduates that unites us, drives us, and ranks us as the top public university in the world. I'm excited for what we will accomplish in our near and far futures, and have no doubt that we're going to achieve great things. We deserve to celebrate this momentous occasion, a time that we have worked so hard to reach. Revel in the moment and do not let it escape you. Congratulations, class of 2008. Carpe diem.
Please welcome Carrie Wong, President of the Senior Class of 2008.
Thank you, Leslie, and congratulations on all your commendable contributions to the university. I would also like to thank the family, friends, faculty, alumni, and students in the audience. Also, Chancellor Bergeneau, Craig Newmark, Derek DeFries, our award winners, the class of 1958, and the processing faculty for being our honored guests at today's graduation ceremony. Our graduation in the year of 2008 marks the university's 140th anniversary. Having the privilege to be a part of a celebratory time for the Cal community warrants a quick reflection on our school's history. The university's birth in 1868 came from a commitment to providing education to the people of California. The university opened its doors to 10 faculty members and 40 students, but rapidly grew with California's expanding population. With an emphasis on fostering academics in the context of an expanding nation and growing state, UC Berkeley promoted liberal and practical academics. Starting in the 1930s, Cal became a premier research institution in nuclear physics, chemistry, and biology, leading to the invention of the cyclotron, discovery of the antiproton, isolation of the human poliovirus, and the discovery of a string of elements heavier than uranium. For the record, UC Berkeley has discovered 5 elements, Stanford 0. Beyond its many contributions to science, the university became the home to student activism, beginning with the free speech movement in 1964. Student activism on the Cal campus created momentum for the formal establishment of students' freedom of expression and served as a pivotal moment for the civil rights movement. Although such an history entices me to purchase a wardrobe full of Cal clothing, what impresses me the most is this commitment to public service. Cal sends the most students to the Peace Corps of any university in the nation. Ultimately, not only do I see Cal as a university with great commitment to leadership in academics and public service, I also see it as a college with a conscience. This graduation ceremony serves as a moment to celebrating your hardworking years at Cal. Furthermore, it's a moment in which the university is passing its legacy onto us, and this represents a commitment to translating our education into social responsibility and global participation. We're graduating during a very exciting time, during a time that demands action. In America, we have a strained healthcare system and a troubled economy which requires strong leadership. In the world, pressing issues of food supply and global warming necessitate international collaboration. Nonetheless, 2008 is a year of galvanizing politics that promise economic and social progress. With all of these challenges and opportunities going on, this world needs Berkeley alumni. This global community needs a Berkeley alum to balance the use of biofuels and food demands, and another to strategize ways to alleviate the country's fiscal deficit while ensuring adequate funding for Social Security and education. Whether you choose to engage in these issues or not, just remember that you are a part of a Cal family, a community of global citizens, a mobilizing force with the potential to change the world and to enrich human life. In John F. Kennedy's famous inaugural address, he told his fellow Americans, ask not what you can do for your country. No, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Sorry, I'm not JFK. Okay. Over 40 years have passed since he made that speech, and within today's international context, I would like to ask you to not what the world. Sorry, I knew I was gonna mess up on this. I would like you to ask not what the world can do for you, but what you can do for the world. As in a privilege serving the class of 2008, and I'd like to take a special moment to thank my mom and my dad, my family, my friends, professors, and colleagues, and the senior class council. I would like to end this speech on a note that can unify over 425,000 alumni around the world. I'm going to need all of your help with this. So let's do a Go Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bears! And now to conclude today's celebration, please rise and refer to the back of your program to join us in singing Hail to California. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the graduating seniors of the Golden Overtones, who will be singing our alma mater. Josephine Chan, Penny Chittimatara, Allison Hill, Tinley Ireland, Connie Lim, and Rachel Robertson. Thank you.
Hail to California, alma mater dear. Sing the joyful chorus.
Thank you again for attending the class of 2008 Commencement Convocation. Please join us at a post-convocation reception at the Campanile Esplanade. We wish you a pleasant good afternoon.